welcome to week 3 of the CrossFit Open. We're here tonight again at the Reebok CrossFit Firepower in Milton for week number 3 of the 5-week CrossFit competition. And we've got Heat 1 just about to start. What are we looking at this week, Mitch?
Oh, Kim, it is getting crazy out there this week. Week 1, we saw 7 minutes. Week 2, we saw 8 minutes. Nope, we saw 10 minutes in week 2. My mistake. 18 minutes today.
It's a long one.
18-minute AMRAP. What we're looking at are 15 box jumps, 12 shoulder to overhead, 9 toes to bar.
And we'll be explaining all these exercises to you as you'll be watching Heat number 1 in a second. It's a grinder.
As many rounds as possible in 18 minutes. Mentally, physically fatiguing. It doesn't get any better from the start.
It is. We've seen the athletes so far this week crash and burn.
To say the least.
Yeah, it's not one to go out of the gate with everything you got.
We're going to see a lot of sweat. We might see some vomit tonight, a little blood. It's going to get nuts out there.
So we're just getting ready to hear for a countdown for Heat number 1. 10 seconds. Who do we have in this heat?
Closest to us, we have Cindy, mother of 2. Her sons are the gymnasts that we saw a few weeks ago.
That's right. And that's lane number 1. We're going to call them in lanes tonight. So Cindy in the pink is in lane number 1, and we'll follow them all the way down to lane number 6.
Behind her, Ryan Wildfang, team member. We've seen him. You can see he's going at a pretty good clip. A new method of box jump they've introduced this year is the pause at the top. Before, you were able to come on top of the box, push off, extending your hips in the air. This year, you have to plant your feet and open your hips while still on top of the box.
That's right. So what the judges are looking for, and again, every athlete gets a judge because the scores are official and they get put online for the world to see, is that pause at the top of the box. So you can see the athletes, as long as your hips are fully open, you can get off the box and go back down for the next one.
And all that does is shift the rebound from the top to the bottom. That's all it does. It's just it takes a few sessions to get used to the new way of doing it. Once you got it dialed, it's just as quick, just as efficient, very clear for the judge.
So that is the first exercise of round 1, is those box jumps. Let's talk about the second exercise.
Second exercise, we have the shoulder to overhead, and in lane 3, you'll see we have Sheena. I couldn't see. We have Sheena, also on the competitive team. She's looking for big numbers today, somewhere between 7 and 9 rounds. So the shoulder to overhead, what that requires is the bar to go from sitting on top of the shoulder, what we call the rack position, to your arms locked down overhead. That means the elbow is straight, your head is pushed through so that the judge from the side can see your ears, and your hip is completely open. That's right, and we're seeing Ryan Wildfang in lane number 2 and Corey Cheek in lane number 4 doing their presses right now. There are 3 ways they are allowed to press this far overhead. We have the strict press, which is simply just using your shoulders to get the bar locked out over top. We have the push press, which requires the hip. You dip and then you drive it up, followed by the push jerk, where you dip, you drive, and as the bar is rising, you sit underneath it to catch it in a half squat. That's right, and we will not be seeing any of the athletes using the shoulder press. No. It's just not efficient. Very inefficient, very taxing right off the hop. Weights, 75 pounds for the ladies, 115 pounds for the men. It's nothing to shake a stick at for 18 minutes. That's why you won't be seeing any shoulder press here today. That's right, and you can see Paul, again, sorry we haven't introduced him yet, in lane number 5 there at the end doing his presses. Wife's got a birthday coming up this weekend. Yes, she does. And why we won't be seeing any of the shoulder presses, it's just not an efficient lift. Now, if you go into the inside the walls of any regular gym, you will see a lot of people doing shoulder presses, but not so in a CrossFit gym. This is one of the lifts that makes us so different. Not only is this type of press more efficient, but you can lift 30% more weight than you can with the press. It also utilizes the entire body, which is essentially the main focus of what CrossFit is. Exactly. So instead of burning out those shoulders as one muscle group at a time, we're attacking every muscle group at a time, and therefore, another benefit is you get a way better workout. And in the back in lane 6, we have Ashley Stolarski. Great last name, Stolarski. Ashley. Yep, she's doing her thing right now, still on the shoulder to overhead. She can see she's kind of half splitting. That's also accepted by the judges is the split jerk, in which you dip, you drive the bar off your shoulders, and you split 1 foot forward, 1 foot backward, trying to keep in the same plane.
As long as you lock it out in between each rep.
As long as the feet come back to neutral, the bar is still locked out overhead, the rep is good.
That's right. And another benefit to these pressing lifts that we use in here that are not a strict shoulder press is that we reduce the risk for injury because we are spreading the stress over the entire body, not just the shoulders. Okay, should we move on to the third?
In lane 3, we have Sheena now going one at a time on her toasted bar. She's using a kip, pushing her chest forward, and as it swings backward, she's going to throw her legs up, aiming to kick the bar. For the rep to count, the 2 feet must make contact with the bar, and at the bottom, they must break the plane of the bar. They must be behind the bar for the rep to count.
That's right, and we had a lot of no reps today for lots of different reasons. It's a tough move. This would be the hardest move for me out of this triplet, we would call it. It's a gymnastics move, and you see a lot of the people who had previously participated in gymnastics, even as a child, far better at this move simply because their body awareness is so much better.
That's right. A big thing today too is going to be judging. A lot of times in situations like this, everybody in this facility knows each other. They all know how hard one another works. They see the blood, sweat, and tears. So when someone doesn't do it right, you can't give them the rep. It's either right or wrong. You can't give it to them if it's not there. You see them working, but you just can't award them that rep.
It's right. It's evidence-based fitness. You have to have proof that you completed the rep in its entirety with the full range of motion that has been dictated.
It must be clear.
So let's talk. So 18 minutes. Have you completed this workout yet?
I have not done it yet. I've watched a few people do it. I will be attempting it this Sunday. I'm looking for anywhere between 5 and 8 rounds, I believe.
Okay, that's a huge range.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I figure, for me personally, maybe do it twice. One time, I'm going to work as hard as I can for the first 6 minutes. Then I'm going to take a seat for 4, and then do 2 more rounds.
I've seen that strategy so far this week.
Have you?
Yes, I've seen it. I think our friend Yen did that strategy the other day. But it is a tough one. And actually, I will say that I learned from watching some competitors earlier in the week. I saw how they gassed out early. I saw that it was tougher than it looked on paper. And then what I did was I actually did pace myself a little bit to see if I could last the 18 minutes.
And how did it go?
I was pleased. I was pleased. As a lot of people tonight, you'll see I struggle with the toes to bar, and my hands ripped open a bit. But I finished the 18 minutes, and it wasn't as bad as I thought.
A lot of the competitors here tonight also will be working through movements that they don't quite have dialed yet.
That's right. They've never completed some of these movements ever before inside the walls of the gym,
as you see
or ever in life.
In lane 1, Kat, our judge, assisting Cindy in the technique to get her toes to bar. A lot of these athletes will make their way through the box jump. They might hit the push press. When they get to the bar, it's going to be a different story.
Yeah, and some of them will work for the remainder of that 18 minutes trying to get their first ever toes to bar, which is a success in itself.
Absolutely, and that's the beauty of the way these workouts are designed. Easy movement at the beginning, one that is pretty well acceptable it's safe to say that everyone can complete that movement.
Yep.
So at least you're going to get on the board. Once you're on the board, to work your way through the next 2 movements, even if they are new to you, you have all the time in the world to really do that. So worst case scenario for a lot of these athletes here tonight, they will set a PR.
That's right. So they'll do their first ever box jump on a 20-inch box or a 24-inch box, or they will lift 75 or 115 pounds over their head the first time. Or like Cindy in lane 1 here is struggling to do, is fight and fight and fight to get her first ever toes to bar.
And I tell you, that is just grueling. You look up on the clock and see over 10 minutes when you have not gotten 1 rep at that station, and you know you're going to be there. The potential to be there for the next 10 minutes.
It's true, but she's going to get coached. So instead of judging now, Kat in lane 1 is going to actually coach her and try and help her, technically speaking, instead of intensity, and get that first rep. There you go. You can see in lane 2, Ryan Wildfang starting to look. You see that face, the grimace?
The grimace. You're going to hear some shouting. You're going to hear some yelling. Ryan is a special competitor in the sense that he likes to come out of the gate really hard, really fast. So a workout like this, it's tough for him to stay constant the whole time. It's tough for him to stay mentally in the zone To stay,
for 18 minutes.
Yes, for 18 minutes.
I know, but I do always say some of us have youth on their side, and Ryan is one of those, right? So he's young, so he's got ambition. He can fight through it. And I see his mother proudly watching on, photographing his workout, which is really nice to see, all in the family. And I just want to mention, some of these athletes you'll notice, and as we said before in week 1 and 2, they're trying to get to the Canadian Regional Games and even to the World CrossFit Games, which are in California in July. But for other athletes, they're just trying to get through these workouts.
Like Corey in lane 4 right now. He is just one at a time on that push press, struggling. This is a new movement for him, so this is one of those exercises that he's going to take a little more time with. It's almost an opportunity to dial in that form. You can see as he cleans the bar up here, he's going to rack it on his shoulder. He's going to take a second.
Yeah, getting good form.
He's going to take a second to get his breath. He's going over that mental checklist right now. He's going to pop that hip. He sits a little bit, and he holds it up there so Judge Brian Kay can give him the rep. He waits for that cue before he comes back down.
That's right. So for someone like Corey this year, who's fairly new to CrossFit, these 5 weeks of open workouts are like going to the games for an average CrossFitter.
Absolutely, and the way it's done here at Firepower, it's an event. Every Friday night, people come out, families and friends come out to support. The music's loud. Coach Ko is here. It's a full broadcast. It's a show. And so everybody likes to put on a show. Everybody likes to do their best. It's the best for themselves, and it's the best for the fans as well.
That's what they're trying to do, is they're trying to do better than they could have done yesterday, because with the CrossFit training, that's what we believe that we can be.
If you can get a millimeter better every day, over 365 days, that's a lot of improvement.
Yeah, and you can't refute that you're fitter, faster, stronger if the numbers show it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So let's recount the past 2 weeks. If you're just joining us this week, for the past 2 weeks we've been here for workout 1 and 2.
Yes.
Workout 1 was, as you mentioned earlier, was 7 minutes of straight burpees. So that's a very simple, functional movement. Get up, get down, body weight. Week 2, they blasted us with the most technical movement within CrossFit, which was the snatch. And last week, I believe there was 500 million snatches completed worldwide.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of snatches.
That's a lot of weight from ground to overhead.
It is.
In a short amount of time.
It is. So this week, it's kind of like we're going a little bit with a metabolic conditioning workout. These athletes are going for 18 minutes today, so it's the longest that we've seen yet in the games this year. So cardio is definitely an issue. A gymnastics move and a lift. So I really like how they mixed it up. I think it's great programming by headquarters this week.
The mental toughness that's going to be drawn out for the 18 minutes is huge. We're going to see who's really focused, who's really coming to win this week.
It's true, and I'm liking watching in lane 5 and 6, Paul leaning over, having a little rest, and Ashley behind him. Both of those athletes have seen such amazing improvements in their physical fitness level through CrossFit. And some days when Paul, we have an online forum where you can post your time and make comments online. Some days when Paul posts his time, I have no idea who it is. He's becoming so fit and so fast. I'm like, who is that guy? It's Paul. He is doing so well. I think he's going to do really, really well tonight.
Now, Paul's just getting over a sickness as well. He's been in bed the whole week.
Oh, really?
It's his first time back in the gym, so he will do well. But if I think I know Paul, I think he's probably going to want to do it again, just to make sure that he's got the best score he possibly can.
And these athletes all have until Sunday at 5 p.m. to complete the workout and submit their score online, and they can compare themselves to the rest of the world. There's 84 countries, I said last week, 84 countries participating in this. Firepower has 110 athletes, and currently we have 2 teams. We divided up into 2 teams from our 110 members. We sit at 10th and 14th in Canada East, which is absolutely exceptional. I know our owners, George and Andrea, are so proud.
It's a good place to be sitting in at week 3. This is a workout, though, that's going to require every team member, every gym member to stay focused and work through. Every rep counts.
That's right. It can distinguish you from 5 places above or 5 places below. There's Ryan resting on the box in lane 2, just taking a breather.
That's the new resting spot on top of the box, not down below it.
That's right.
You can see how he bounds right back up. With 5 minutes remaining, this is when it's getting tough. This is the grueling time. You can see the shirts are off, the spit is flying, particularly from me. That's fine. That's fine. Don't worry about it. We'll all be okay.
And we're going to get their numbers for you guys and hopefully post it on the screen so everyone at home can see. These are people that probably didn't think they could do any of this 1 year ago. Would you agree?
Most definitely. Most definitely. The thing with these workouts is every time they come out, every Wednesday they come out, everybody sits around the computer with their friends or their family and they wait for that workout to be released. When they see it, everybody goes, oh.
So true.
Moans and groans. I don't know how I can do this. I don't know if I can, how can I ever go on? Friday comes, they complete it, they look to those same people and say, I did it.
I did it, exactly. And what awesome, I always say, awesome metaphor for life, awesome life lesson is like do something you didn't think you could do. That's got to be good for you. You could turn around in life and then start to do things you thought you could never do. Switch to the job you always wanted. Go run that 10K you always wanted to do. Why not, right? Because that's our sort of attitude in here. Why not? Why can't you be better than you were the day before?
3 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. And you can see these athletes are starting to get tired.
Do you think they're so tired, though, that they can't not get a last-minute sprint in?
I don't know if we're going to see any sprinting, but we might see some maintenance.
Okay. I think Ryan's going to put it on in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe Sheena, too.
Yeah.
She's got lots of gas in the tank. Good. She's got good cardio conditioning. She's in lane 3, lifting the weight over her head. Normally for Sheena, that 75 pounds is not a heavy weight, but with the 18 minutes and everything else going on in the workout, you can see how heavy it feels at the end.
Ryan Wildfang pushing those 9 toes to bar, back up to the box. He knows he's got over just 2 minutes on the clock. He knows he has to go. He's checking his time, and away he goes.
I know that Ryan, for him, the weights are probably not too bad of a problem, so he wants to get these box jumps done so he can get some reps on that bar.
That's right.
Up he goes, up he goes. He's got to go.
Cindy and everyone still working away. You can see chalking up the hands, breathing deeply, going over that mental checklist. How can I get this done? I have 2 minutes to get my first toes to bar.
Oh, I so hope she gets it.
For a lot of these athletes, that's the night. It's my first PR.
That's right. I remember it last year, and lots of people remember it, and that's why they're all back this year, plus we have a whole bunch more.
Grows and grows and grows. You hear the rumors, you see the faces, and the energy really becomes palpable towards the end of the workouts.
Yeah, and you can see in lane 6, Ashley, she's on, she also probably toes to bar are tough for her, so she banged out those last box jumps really quick. Hopefully she'll get all 12 of her pressing lifts in lane 6. Looks good. Good pusher, switcher.
Good pace. Paul setting back up to the bar. You know he's going to try to get him everything he can. Ryan Wildfang trying to hone in on that technique, really pushing through the heels to try and get up.
We've got just under 2 minutes to go here. I should just mention we have 2 members in our gym right now that are sitting really pretty in Canada East. We have Annie Gordon, who after 2 workouts, I checked online, she's 28th in Canada East, which is incredible as an individual athlete. And Dan Rogers, one of our trainers, is now sitting in 73rd in the entire Canada East division. Good numbers.
Great numbers, great lead-off numbers for the team. And you're going to notice everybody in the gym here today is working towards that team score. Although it's individual, although they're looking for that personal best, they also are fully aware that they are contributing to a greater score. So they know every rep to push to get one last rep to help boost that score just a little bit higher.
And you're seeing we've got under a minute now, 52 seconds to go. Hopefully we see the pace pick up a little bit. Everything you have left, you need to leave on the floor. Everything you have left. That's what it's all about. Sheena's going now. Watch Sheena in lane 3 on the box jumps. Look at that. She's picking up the pace. This is an easy move for her. She wants to get back to that bar.
This is where she makes her money, right here on quick body type, quick body weight movements. Up and down, up and down, up and down. 20 seconds left.
Come on, come on. Get a few more.
We can see Wildfang knowing he's got 20 seconds to work. He's got reps. Owner Andrew Savard in his face knowing that every rep is dire for their team.
Look at that speed. Awesome job, Ryan. Right to the end. Let's see if we can get them all. Count them down. We've got 7 seconds.
Hands on the bar. He's going for that last couple of push presses. That's it.
And done. Oh, heat number 1 did a great job. Okay, so we'll come back with...
I'm tired after watching that.
We'll come back with some scores. We'll collect the scores from the judges, and we'll be back with heat number 2.
that's evidence as to how much of a push that actually is towards the end.
It's true, and you don't see that often at a regular gym, people pushing so hard, but it is allowed inside the walls of a CrossFit gym. Blood, sweat, tears, profanity, and the odd vomit.
The odd vomit. It happens.
Yeah, you don't want to push yourself like that every day, but sometimes it just happens. Who knows what he had for lunch anyway?
We're getting set for heat number 2 here.
This is a good one.
Who do we have in lane 1?
Lane 1, we have Christine Hatfield, which is interesting. It's kind of interesting. I'm so glad she's here tonight. She owns Square One CrossFit, just kind of around the corner. She's a really nice lady. She's also a Lululemon ambassador, which is kind of cool. There's some gorgeous pictures of her at the Lululemon at Square One if you'd like to check it out. And she's also a big-time competitor. She's hoping for a huge score, and I just spoke with her before the workout. She's so nervous.
It's a nerve-wracking event. It's hard. You have an individual judge. There are people watching, and these workouts really aren't that difficult. If it was a regular workout of the day, you wouldn't give it much thought. But because it's being judged, because there's so much riding on it, the pressure that each athlete puts on themselves really makes it worth something.
It's true, and I'm not sure if Christine here in lane number 1 is hoping to attend the games as an individual or a team, or with the team, but I know that she's a competitor and she does want to go to the games this year.
We saw her at regionals last year put up a pretty good score. She does definitely bring heat in the gym, so we're looking for a big score out of her tonight.
I was chasing her last year. Me and her had a great competition last year, and she just pulled away at the last one. But the other thing that's interesting, what I wanted to mention, is she is here tonight to complete week number 3 because of the atmosphere. She wants the crowd around. She wants that extra push around her to create that atmosphere of competition, something to fight against, go against, and that's why she joined us tonight.
A good training tool for regionals, getting used to being on a bigger stage than you are in every day. If you're just around doing it like you would coming in for any class, the results won't be different. It's the fact that you're in a different atmosphere with twice as many people all cheering your name, telling you to go harder, someone watching your every movement. It pushes you on to that next round, that next rep.
Yeah, so we'll let you know what Christine's score is. I'm sure it'll be fantastic. Who do we have behind Christine?
In lane 2, we have Levi. We've seen Levi put up, I think, the biggest score of the night in week 1 with the burpees. You'll see this week, he'll try to repeat that performance. This is a workout that is pretty good for him. The weight is not too heavy. The box jumps very quick. The toes to bar very quick. Levi's got a good solid midline, and his technique is solid. If he can remain focused and stay at a good pace, not getting too excited at the beginning, he should be able to pull through this 18 minutes with a respectable score.
I think he shows good composure during the workouts, and he doesn't come out of the gate too fast. I remember, I don't know, last week, do you remember he had that big Band-Aid on his forehead?
Yeah,
and we thought he dropped the bar on his forehead,
no,
but he got a puck in the face.
He got a puck in the face through the mask, and it still cut him.
Yeah, and actually, look at his technique on toes to bar. What do you think about lane 2, Levi there, with his hands narrow on the bar and his feet wide?
I think it's lane 2 because Ryan Wildthang was used that technique beforehand as well. He likes the close hands and the wide feet.
Okay.
I think it's just a personal preference.
Okay.
Whether or not it gives you more, I mean, it obviously has to do with the hip flexors. I would venture to guess how tight or loose they are.
Okay.
Being able to just fire your hips up in a straight line as opposed to on an angle. If the angle probably cuts down the distance. But that's just me guessing. I'm not 100% sure.
Okay, and then we've got Ashley, who was just on toes to bar in lane 3.
Big night for Ashley.
Oh yeah, last year. This is where she injured herself last year on toes to bar.
Last year, toes to bar. We had a bit of a scary moment during the movement as she was going up to kick. She lost her grip and she fell down, landing on her hand, and she broke her finger. It's kind of mangled all over the place. It's healed now.
That's right. And she was using that. You notice, you can see her now, wide grip, narrow feet. And actually, that's the way I use, because I always think if your hands are wider than your shoulders, you'll use more of those upper body muscles. And I think you use all the help you can get.
And especially in a workout like this, the composition of this workout is seamless. Starting with the box jump, what we're going to do is we're going to massage your quads. We're going to say hello to them. We're going to start to work them in. And because of that open hip policy on top, we're going to start to introduce your hip. It's not going to be gas, but it's going to know that it's going to need to work. By the time you get to the push press, now we're going to use your quad. That midline is going to have to remain stable. We're going to introduce the shoulder.
Yes.
And by the time we get to the bar, that midline is nice and tight, and those shoulders are starting to fry a little bit. You multiply that over 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rounds for 18 minutes, it's going to get hairy.
It's true. And you know what? I completed it yesterday. I'm really sore up top, and I don't think it's from the push press. I think it's from the toes to bar. So their athletes are not just bringing their toes up to the bar. They are pulling on the bar.
There's a push straight into a pull.
Yeah. And so and the other thing we should talk about is Ashley in lane 3, who's still trying to complete those toes to bar, but she's going to do it. Her judge, Sarah McGregor, who's looking up at Ashley's bar there in lane 3. Sarah also had an injury on toes to bar last year. We should talk about
a likely pair last year at the CrossFit Canada East Regionals. In the final workout of the day, Sarah McGregor, same movement, toes to bar. She was going for that extra rep. But at the end of the day, all bets are off in terms of strength. Normally something she can hit every day, all day, every day. She slipped off the bar, landed 7 feet on the top of her head, cracked her skull.
I know, it was really, really scary moment last year at the CrossFit Canada Regionals when I heard about it. It's really a tragedy. She missed lots of weeks of work, lots of weeks of training. There was lots of scary moments for everyone that knows and loves Sarah. Actually, a huge success story, how she's come back over the year to train with the level of intensity that she's found.
She's made a full recovery, and happy to say that she's already completed this workout here tonight.
Has she? Oh, good. I missed it. But that's great. And yeah, to come back from that kind of head injury is pretty incredible. And that is the reason why you see the mats underneath all the bars.
That's right. That's right. A big mental feat. So especially, it's very tough with these sort of movements. Once you injure yourself with one movement, it's because it relies on muscle memory. It's a sport that relies on muscle memory. And once pain, not the good kind of pain, the bad kind of pain, is intertwined with that muscle memory, it's really hard to push it to the wayside.
It's true.
Every time you step to that movement, it's in the back of your mind. It plays. So to complete this workout at the pace that Ashley and Sarah have done so here today, or actually is in the process of doing, is a feat unto itself.
It's true. Now behind Ashley in lane number 4, we have Adam. Adam's on the toes to bar right now.
Big,
super tall guy.
Adam.
Actually, Adam is Levi's brother-in-law. Did you know that?
I was aware. I knew they were connected somehow.
All right. So Adam came in here. I believe he has quite a physical job. Fit guy, but he's got to be at least 5 times as fit as when he came in here. I'm so happy to see Adam. What I've seen in him is his flexibility has increased tenfold, and it's making him a so much better athlete simply because his flexibility is better.
Absolutely. You'll notice the flexibility, especially in the toes to bar, is a huge aspect. It's really overlooked in that movement. A lot of athletes, they can pull fine and they can get the angle of their pelvis and their back to the proper degree, but because that hamstring is not as loose as it should be, to kick to the bar poses more of a problem than they anticipate.
It's true, and I know Adam, he comes from out of town to train here. There actually is a CrossFit in the community in which he lives, but he loves the atmosphere here, and he can't give it up. So he drives in from out of town to train with us every day.
And we love having him.
I know. So the atmosphere in this gym, we are lucky to have this in Milton, Ontario. If you've never been in, come and try it. We're always offering free classes. The energy is electric, not only on Friday nights, but on a regular day, in a regular class.
Now you see in lane 5, Mo, Big Mo, remember him, the rugby player with giant tree trunks. Remember him from the burpees 2 weeks ago. Yep. You can see with his push press, he's opting for that wide stance. This is something for the bigger guys, a lot of them like that. I hate to say it, but I think a choice like that is going to hurt him in the long run, simply because it's not efficient. The wider his leg is, the longer a path the energy has to travel to get all the way up into that shoulder.
That's right. For all the pressing lifts, I always encourage narrow feet, or feet directly under the hips. You don't want them any wider than that, and you can see that Mo in lane 5, he's going wide, and their tendency is to do that. But Chris, I believe, is judging him right now, so if I were Chris, and he probably is telling him this right now, I can't hear him, but he's probably saying narrow your feet up, narrow your feet up. Hopefully the lift will feel easier for him when he does that.
Keep him under your hips so you can push straight up.
And who do we have behind Mo?
In the back we have the second Shemri of the night, daughter Vicky, member of the competitive team. This is a workout for her, like a few of our competitive team members, that is not quite right up their alley. Vic is very strong and extremely capable, but the sheer time, so she can do all the movements, but it's a long time for her to keep going.
And it's the toes to bar, I know, for Vicky. She's just like me in the sense that box jumps and the press is fine. She could go all day, but it's those toes to bar that she's going to have to take a breather on.
It's important to mentally compose the workout, I always think, as well, is to know where it is you're going to take the most time and what you can breeze through it. For all these athletes, it's different. A lot of them we see a good constant pace on the box, really, really fast at the push press, and then a nice steady pace on the toes to bar. A lot of time we'll see really fast on the box, steady, or ones and twos through the push press, and then again fast on the toes to bar. Some of us, we rush through the box, the push press, and then take our time on the toes to bar. It all depends where you are as an athlete and what you've deemed as a strength and as a weakness.
It's true. And I have to say that heat number 1 and heat number 2 are surprising me in the sense that I don't think anybody is gassing out too badly. I think we've all learned from the competitors that have gone this week a little bit earlier. They've all said to us, it's harder than you think, don't gas yourself out. And I think everybody has really taken that to heart.
No one's pulling out the pina coladas halfway through.
That's right. And no one's sitting down on the box.
No.
Not yet, anyway.
Tonight.
I know.
Not tonight.
And the other thing is, Friday nights here are free, I should mention. So we still have 2 weeks left of competition.
Plenty of tickets available.
Everyone is welcome. It's free.
Tickets.
There's no tickets. Just show up. We're here from 5 to 9, 2 more Fridays. Come and check out what the workout has to offer. We don't know. Again, if you haven't tuned in before to our Friday night CrossFit Open, these workouts are only posted on the Wednesday before we actually complete them. So nobody knows what they're training for. We don't know what the workout's going to be next week.
You have 1 full day to let it digest, wrap your head around what it's going to take to get the score you need, and then get at it.
That's right. And everyone's sort of at home with pencil and paper strategizing after we look at the workout online at 8 p.m. on Wednesdays.
There's always that one guy who does it right away.
Yeah.
As soon as it's released, there's about 10, 15 minutes later, there's 1 score up. Always that guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Online?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Wednesday
awesome. I love
night,
it.
they get it done right away. But it's always the guy who does like really, really well.
Really well. Oh, good for him.
18 rounds. I don't think anybody's got 18 rounds, but...
Now let's talk about that. So in this gym, the high score is probably in the 9s?
Just 9 rounds, 20 reps was Annie Gordon today.
Okay, so nobody's gotten 10 rounds. Annie Gordon's a phenomenal athlete, and she had to be busting her butt to be getting 9 and something rounds. Annie Thorstadottir from Iceland, who was last year's winner, got through 13 rounds.
13 rounds, that's it. That is a pace like lightning.
And she probably wasn't even fazed by it. She has so much composure, it's awesome. Here we have Christine Hatfield coming back to the box jumps in lane number 1.
Just over 5 minutes remaining. You see she's trying to not get too excited right now, maintain that pace, but you know in the back of her head, go time is approaching.
Yeah, and I really liked her strategy. I always tell my athletes in regular classes and in intro classes to do this. When she got off the toes to bar and she was walking to her box jump, she took 3 deep breaths to try and bring her heart rate down a little bit, so when she got to the box, she could go, go, go. She's trying to breathe through these box jumps too, I think, to get ready for her lift.
This is one of those movements where you can take a breath. The pause at the top where you open your hip. And you can see her kind of shaking her arms out as well. She knows what's coming next. She's trying to work that lactic acid through her lats, through her arms. So when she gets to the bar, as you can see, she can get her hands right on, take one last breath, roll it into her shins, and pick it up.
And you can see now, you can start to hear all the cheering culminating. We've got 4.5 minutes left. And this, for those of you sitting at home, like, this could be you next year. This will be some of you next year.
Absolutely, absolutely. To watch it on television is one thing. You can see it, you can hear it, but it's hard to get the real feel.
Come on in next Friday night. 2 more Friday nights. Come and join us. It's free. Bring the kids. They're all welcome. Ask questions. questions, if you see Mitch and I around town, stop us at Tim Hortons in the drive-thru at the gas station. We'll be happy to tell you a little bit more about CrossFit and why you need to be in here.
All day, every day.
I get stuck sometimes at Tim Hortons for like an hour talking about CrossFit to people, but I don't mind.
Have you had a whole coffee during your conversation, gone back and gotten another coffee and continued your conversation?
I don't think I've done that yet, but I've definitely drank most of my coffee telling people about this place. And then those people, I've seen their faces come in over the years, and some of them are hardcore CrossFitters now, so I'm just so glad I stopped and made the time. You would not be sorry. I really believe that we have so much more potential than we think we do, and you can actually realize some of it through CrossFit, which is pretty cool.
Just over 3 minutes remaining now. You can see everybody getting to that point where it's going to be time to go soon.
I'm so proud of Ashley Mule in lane number 3 there. She is working that 75-pound bar.
Staying stoic, staying composed, and pushing through the pain.
Good for her. A lot of girls are sitting at home thinking, I can't push 75 pounds. Ashley thought the same thing last year. You definitely can. That's it, Levi. Levi in lane 2 is working through those box jumps. This is a strength of his, so he's got to work through these fast to get to that bar.
Just gas. Jumping up, taking that extra long breath. He knows he's been working for quite some time now. A lot with these workouts, the saving grace of a workout like this, some people might yell at me for even suggesting the saving grace, saying from the guy who hasn't even done it yet. Don't worry, I will be terrible.
Not true.
Well, I will feel terrible.
That's right. That's true.
The saving grace is that the rounds are, the amount of reps required in each round are quite substantial. So by the time you finish one round, you've taken a significant amount of time off the clock.
Yep, you've done 36 reps. That's a lot in 1 minute.
Whereas the past 2 weeks, you could get 1 rep and you've taken no time off the clock whatsoever. So that 18 minutes can be chopped down pretty heavily once you work through a round.
It's true, and if you're watching any of the athletes on the toes to bar, this happened to me. I know I can see it's happening to Mo and Vicky in lane number 5 and 6 down at the end there. It's a lot of effort, you can see, to get your whole body up there and toes to bar. And the worst thing is when you fail the rep and your toes don't touch, but you still did all the work.
Just like Mo did right now, he pulled himself up. He was about an inch away from tapping the bar with his toes. And as a judge, that's almost as killer as it is for the athlete, because in a way, these are like your children out here. You watch them grow inside the gym, and you see how hard they're working. And to not be able to award them that rep for that amount of effort, it's painstaking.
And you want them to succeed.
Absolutely.
So for the 9 toes to bar that you have to do every time you're at the bar, if you're failing 8 of those, you're doing 17 pulls on that bar, and you only need 9. It's taxing. It's
very taxing. We can see just under a minute left, and all the athletes are going for it now. You can see Christine, she's going to shake it out, take a quick breath. Oh, she's getting tired.
Stand up, stand up.
She's got to get that in. She's not used to this push, has not felt this type of push in a while here. She's getting from the judges right now.
The last minute is so exciting. I just want to cheer everybody on.
Mo going for that big box jump. He knows he can just tear down that wall one at a time. You can see that speed increasing as he steps down from the box, sets himself, and get right back up.
That's it. You can hear the pace is picked up a little bit. Ashley Mule is fighting for those toes to bar. Awesome. Here we go. We're going to finish off with 18 seconds of their best work here. Let's see how fast they can go. Adam in lane number 4 has got to pick up that bar. Here he goes. 10 seconds.
Christine just over that round.
4 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and done. Oh, what a good heat.
And there it is.
We'll get to congratulate them later. We'll post their scores, and we'll be back with heat number 3.
Welcome back to Open WOD 12.3 here at Reebok CrossFit Firepower in Milton. We got heat number 3 coming up. Big heat here, last one of the night. We've seen some big numbers put up so far today. I'm looking for those to be exceeded in this round. We have some heavy hitters as we get underway here tonight.
It's true. Keep your eye on lane number 2, Dan Rogers. He's the one I was mentioning a little bit earlier. He is 73rd in Canada East.
We have a false start.
We just had a false start. That's
the first
happens.
one, yeah. Sometimes the clocks malfunction.
It's true. And actually, that's a great thing. Something you'll hear about a lot since CrossFit's getting so much press is the 3, 2, 1, go. We have a countdown to go, and it looks like somebody shot the clock a little early.
It happens.
But then you can shake it off and then restart. We'll restart the clock. But Dan Rogers, as is mentioning, 73rd in Canada East.
He's in lane 2 tonight. Shirts off. He's ready to go. Game face on. He's got a good rhythm. He knows the pace he's going to have to keep to get the numbers he wants.
I can't wait to see what his score is going to be. To be honest with you, I think he might be our first 10-rounder.
He's looking for anywhere from 12 to 13 rounds.
Is he really? That's amazing. So once again, for those of you at home, these athletes are completing an 18-minute workout where time is fixed, and they have to complete as many rounds as possible of 15 box jumps, jumping on the box, 12 pressing lifts, pushing weight overhead, 115 pounds for guys, 75 for girls, and 9 toes to bar, which we'll see again in a second. So 12 rounds is a lot to complete in 18 minutes.
In lane 1, we have Sharon Wildfang, mother of Ryan, who went in the first heat tonight. She's trying to just do the family proud here. She
is, and she will, because she is a phenomenal athlete. We've seen her in week 1 and 2, I believe, both weeks. She has no problem with box jumps, and this 75-pound bar is no problem for her. So we'll see how the toes to bar.
I tell you, one of the best things to hear in the gym, especially on nights like this, are the little kids yelling, "Go, Mom, go."
You're right.
And you hear that so often. Mothers, regular moms, do everything your mom does, everything my mom does, but they find the time of the day to come into the gym and really push themselves.
You're right. Actually, I can remember 2 specific times that I've heard it from my own children, and it gives you so much energy.
I remember one time hearing it from your children.
Yeah.
Not to me, to you.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's uplifting.
It's nice to know, and it's so great to see that the kids hopefully one day will be involved as well and get into CrossFit nice and early, because it's for every age. Lane 3. Let's talk about Steph.
Steph, birthday girl.
Today?
This weekend.
Nice job.
Expecting a big night for her here. This is a workout. She's got a great engine. It never quits. It's like she drinks motor oil, this woman. She never ever stops. So this is a workout with 18 minutes. This is a workout she can excel in. This is somewhere she can just keep going. The weight's not too heavy. She can muster it up overhead, but she also has that do not die attitude.
She does. Steph came to the gym as a former boxer, but had been sidelined by injury. She's also a new mom, and her husband is actually Paul, who was heat number 1 in lane 5. And both of them are doing phenomenally. Steph is a great example of how, and we hear this every day as coaches, Mitch, and we've never talked about it, is women coming in here saying, I can't lift weight, I do not want to get big. Look at Steph. She looks like a triathlete, an Iron Woman. She pushes a ton of weight, and she still has that frame that she was blessed with, this long and lean frame. She hasn't hulked up like a beast or anything like that.
Speaking of beasts, in lane 4, Papa Shembry, Mr.
Nice.
George Shembry here tonight. This is a workout that like we said earlier, in terms about strategizing, he's going to take his time on the box jump. He's going to push. Look at the speed he's going with here on the push press. Hold it, not even dropping it to take a breath. He's just throwing that weight up like it's nothing.
And just notice, I was just noticing on a couple of his reps there, he wasn't quite pushing his head through enough. You want to talk a little bit about why we do that?
Well, Kim, when you have weight over your head, you want to use as many muscle groups as you can to support it. And when you push your head through, so it's forward in front of the bar, what you're actually doing is engaging your traps. So you're using that entire shoulder girdle, your upper back to support that weight.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. Exactly. You're right. I mean, it's just tried and true, right? So what they're trying to do is put that weight over top of the crown of their head, which where underneath that bar, there is the most support. Their spine going all the way down to their hips, their pelvis, and then down through the knee joint and the ankle joint. It's exactly true. That's where you have the most support.
In lane 5, we have Brandon, and Brandon here, he's one of those guys who, schedule permitting, he'd like to get into the gym a little bit more. And it's, to be honest, it's these athletes I feel the most for on nights like this, because everybody else here really has I should say they have it. They make the time to get in and train. But with Brandon's schedule, it's very, very hard for him to come in on a regular basis. He has the mind, and he knows what he has to do. He has the skills. He can do all the movements. But simply because the frequency is not there, he's just not as comfortable in situations like this.
It's true, because you're right. He is a great athlete. He came in here really fit individual, but just due to some shift work, and little kid doesn't get in as much, but he's doing so great this year. I don't believe he was here last year.
I don't know. He was not. He was not. And you bring up a good point. Nobody here is a professional athlete.
No.
It's the love of the game that keeps bringing them back, and it's the way they feel afterwards. They can see the results. They can see the reps. They know.
It's true, and it's a sport. Like I said in previous weeks, CrossFit is a sport. It's the sport of fitness, and anybody can do it. And many of you at home are probably thinking, I've heard about this, because lately CrossFit has been getting so much press. The reason, in my mind, is because so many more people are doing it, and amazing things are happening. So it's really a movement worldwide, and you've seen it on so many shows lately. Everybody's trying it. Just recently this week, Mike Bullard did a workout. You can YouTube that one. It's pretty hilarious. It's Ellen DeGeneres had it on her show, The Talk, Breakfast Television, The Doctors, The View. It is the commercials that are out there. It is all over the place. And most notably, The Biggest Loser, one of the trainers, Bob.
He's been completely converted. He's in a magazine saying it's his new obsession. His gym at The Biggest Loser, he now calls it The Biggest Loser Box in CrossFit. They're not called gyms, they're called boxes. So he's a company that provides a lot of basically the entire CrossFit community with their equipment. Rogue has supplied him with his boxes, his bars, his pull-up rigs, everything.
I can't tell you how happy it makes me when I do flip by The Biggest Loser on whatever night it's on, and I see these athletes, the candidates on The Biggest Loser completing CrossFit workouts. It makes me so happy, because I know that if some of us are sitting at home thinking, oh, I don't think I could do that, and then you watch some guy who's about 400 pounds doing it, well, yeah, you can do that. Anybody can do it.
And I think why, in particularly, it's good for that show, and why is because it's effective as a lifestyle.
That's right.
It's simply not just, I'm going to go into the gym and do this today, that tomorrow by myself. There's an accountability here. You have friends in the gym, and you don't have them before you come in. You make them simply by being here. There's an accountability, and there's something that plays in your brain that I have to get better. I have to do this. I can't miss a day.
Yeah, that's right. And I like it that they are really promoting it as a way to get fit and get back into shape after being so grossly out of shape, like on The Biggest Loser. They're not starving themselves. They are not doing cardio for 6 hours a day, putting all that stress on their joints. They're simply doing short, efficient CrossFit workouts, and it's working. One
day, Bob had them do Fran. Fran is a workout that is a very, very short workout. It's a sprint workout. Some of those guys might have worked out 8 to 10 minutes that day, and that would be it for the entire day.
Because you are shocking your metabolism. So then they're asking so much of the machine that is their body, that their body should be, after CrossFitting successfully and getting a little uncomfortable, their body should be burning fat and building lean muscle at an extremely high rate, as opposed to just a slow jog for 5 hours.
One of the things you'll notice here in lane 3, we have Steph. She's just come off the bar now, but her toes to bar has gone, instead of a kip where you're straight up and down like Rogers in lane 2. See how he's coming down, he's going straight back up. You'll see Steph, she's taking that little swing in the middle. That midline is absolutely gassed right now. After just over 8 minutes of work, you're really, really starting to feel it.
And she's using that kip, or that sort of kick at the bottom, to gain momentum, and it does work. It's efficient. But if you can do them straight right in a row, obviously that's the better option, but not the case for most athletes. A really tough move. Everybody's back on the box.
Rogers.
Oh, Tammy. I didn't realize Tammy was in this heat.
I meant to talk about her. We just got talking.
Sidetrack. Lane
That's right.
6. Tammy. Look at her go. Gosh, she's just a little mighty mouse.
Competitive team. She took some time off earlier this year, a couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks to attend to some family business, but she's back at it now, and that intensity is coming through full force. She's really going to want to do well here tonight.
She will do well tonight. This is a good workout for her.
All doable movements, and she's got her teammate Derek McDonald there coaching her through. So he's going to push her to get the best results he can.
That's true. And I'm seeing, again, heat 3, continually, it's just pleasing me to see that nobody is fading away. There's sort of constant movement going on. People have been really smart and intelligent about how they've planned their attack in this workout.
Trying to prolong the suck.
Yeah, prolong the suck. It's inevitable, isn't it?
You're going to get, with this workout, you can see a few of us are starting to hit this wall now already. Dan Rogers in lane 2 is starting to slow down just a little bit.
And that's the thing, so you can see that he just dropped the bar. They are trying to complete 12 reps in a row. If you do drop the bar, of course, the problem is you have to pick it up again. Simply picking it up is work. So ideally, you want to do 12 in a row, and the best place to rest is where Dan Rogers in lane 2 just rested, right on his shoulder girdle, right there, right on the front, instead of putting it down.
Now Rogers is a bit of a gamer. He knows the time on the clock. He knows where he is in the workout. And he knows his heart rate. So right now, I don't want to say he's coasting, but he knows that he's not really that close to the end now. So we're not going to see that sprint from him for a while.
That's right. You're right. We won't until the end, and then we will definitely see it. So 18 minutes these athletes have had to work. We have 7 minutes and 20 seconds left. So they are over halfway, which is also a really nice thing for the mind. When you're over halfway, there's something nice, a little nicer about that.
I've come this far, I could do it again.
I can do it again, exactly.
You can see Tammy now at the end. She's rebounding beautifully on the bottom to get up. Her guard has come off there. She's going to take a little extra time to get that set. You don't want to rip in a workout like this. A lot of times when you have double grips on the bar, on the floor, and then the pull-up bar where you have to bear your body weight, especially for this duration, calluses form and they'll rip off.
It's true. Well, yeah, so you can wear gloves or you don't have to wear gloves. Last year in the CrossFit Games, they were not allowed, and this year they're allowed. So you'll see some of our athletes wearing grips or gloves, and it's totally legitimate, so your hands don't rip on the bar.
So you can see Rogers now, he's pushing through, he's got a nice dip, he's going for that. Well, Rogers likes a really wide knee, give him that stability, allow his hip to get back so he can pop it a little more and catch it a little bit deeper. Yeah,
but he still looks strong. He's completing a whole bunch of, I think he's doing it in 2 sets.
Yep.
6 and 6 maybe. Let's see how many he gets in here. There's 2, 3, 4, 2 more. He can do it. He doesn't want to drop it. 1 more. Yep. Beautiful. Nice and efficient.
Sharon Osbourne.
We were just talking
about the talk. Sharon Wildfang, equally as cool of a name, probably cooler actually.
Yeah.
Sharon Wildfang taking those 2 breaths on the way back to the box, taking a note from her son, trying to get that oxygen in, calm the heart rate down before she gets back to work. Such
a good strategy, because really these athletes, they're all going right now as fast as they can stand it. You don't want to get too caught up. You don't want to get your breathing and heart rate completely way out of control and try and move these weights efficiently. You want to sort of take those deep breaths and take any space you can to get your heart rate to come down just a bit before each movement.
Mr. 73 in Canada East here, Dan Rogers. You can see how quickly he gets back to that box. Already on another round.
I wonder how many he's on. Well, we will find out. The other thing I wanted to mention, we were speaking about The Biggest Loser and how they are CrossFitting this year, and I'm so glad about it. I was watching a video online today about, it's out of the States, and a gentleman who just came back from a tour in Afghanistan where he lost his leg, and part of his rehabilitation was at a CrossFit gym. And so he wears a prosthetic, and he's competing in this year's CrossFit Open. And he said it wasn't only for his physical rehabilitation, but also his mental rehabilitation.
The big thing inside a box like this is it doesn't matter what you look like, where you come from, or where you're going. Everyone is treated the exact same.
True. And really walking into the gym, if you have any apprehension about walking into a CrossFit facility.
You can see Steph in lane 3 running to her water. Steph just messed it up for me. I was going to give her big props about getting right back to the box. And instead she's going for the water. That's all right though. That's okay. That's fine. She must need it.
You would not go to the water until 4 minutes is up, and that's how much time is left on the workout. She's got some great shoes on.
But you can see that pace. She's not slowing down yet at all. She knows she's got about under 5 minutes to go, and she's staying very focused on what needs to be done.
That's it. And you can see her taking that time to open her hips. Kat, her judge, is probably telling her to make sure she's opening up her hips a little bit more, chest up. That's it, because you don't want to jump on that box and not have the rep count.
Tammy pushing down hard at the end in lane 6, getting a nice dip, a really nice cadence for her, and opting to breathe with the bar on her chest before she comes down.
Yeah, that's a good strategy. I like that one.
And on she goes to the toaster bar. Another round. She's just raking them in. You can see now Dan Rogers with just over 3 minutes. He's starting to pick the pace up again.
He can. Great athlete.
Sharon Osborne.
We'll have to play some Aussie later.
Yeah.
That's
Sharon
nice
Wildfang
job.
getting back up on that bar with a legitimate toaster bar. She's doing really, really well here. She's really swinging her legs nicely, getting her chest big at the bottom, making contact with both feet.
And she's making sure to take her time to make sure every rep counts. So she doesn't waste one, which I love.
Nothing
Good
worse.
strategy. And you can see Tammy also chalking up her hands. So sometimes we use chalk to help our grip on the bars. It's the same thing as the gymnastics chalk would use. Tammy's really chalking up over there. I wonder if her hands are suffering on the bar.
She's down to 1 now as well. A single swing in the middle, 2, and she's off the bar. More for a little more chalk.
Okay, here we go. George Shembry in lane 4.
Shirts off. Shirts off. He means business now.
Awesome. Here he goes, and he's got his daughter cheering him on and his wife somewhere in the crowd. I remember when George Shembry could not run around this building once without walking. He's come a long way. Here we go. 2 minutes. 120
2-minute
seconds.
mark. You're going to see him start to really pour it on here now.
Good pace. That's it. Nice work. So all these athletes at one point in time were new to CrossFit, right? Just like you sitting at home. Come into the gym, learn the stuff, learn the techniques that we do, and jump right in. We'd love to have you. The more the merrier. There we go. There we go. Back on the box. Dan's picking it up.
Away we go. He'll get another round in plus a little, I think.
He's got to go fast. Got to go fast. And Dan's judge tonight in lane 2 is Andrea Savard, who is our owner, along with her husband George, who you've seen in previous weeks.
You can see Tammy in lane 6 also picking up the pace. That big rebound, just a little bit, a hair quicker than when we saw her last.
Great job. George has been on the box a while now. There he goes. Good. Good
These
job.
competitors know what's at stake every rep.
That's it, you guys. You can hear the excitement building with 1 minute left
Just
to go in the
over a
walk.
minute.
Last heat of the night. Good. So I would tell George, push that head through. There he goes. Much better. Great pace.
Getting exciting now. A lot of them are coming towards the end of their round with just under a minute to go. Now it's time to beat the clock. If they can stay mentally strong and push through here, they know they have something tangible to beat, and that is the time.
True. Don't even think about breathing here. You don't even pace yourself. Think about breathing. Breathe later. Work now.
You can really see the strain on their faces trying to stay calm, but they know the reps that have to get done. 30 seconds left on the clock.
Look at the pace, you guys. At home, this is so exciting. You got to come in next Friday night and check this out.
Dan Rogers in lane 2. He's checked the clock mid-swing. He knows how much time he has left. He's going to get a couple more toes to bar, and he's going to run back over to that box to get in as many as he can.
10 seconds.
Tammy in lane 6 climbing back on, and there he goes back to the box. Up he can, not even squaring up with it, just trying to get reps.
1 second, and we're done.
There it is. Well, that concludes workout 12.3 here at Reebok CrossFit Firepower. Join us next week for Open WOD 12.4.